They tried to shoot him. They tried to blow up his house. They sent mercenaries. They bought traitors. And they plotted from foreign capitals. But after every single attempt, Ibrahim Traoré walked out untouched, more defiant, more determined, and more committed to finishing what he started. January 2026, Security Minister Mahamadou Sana stood before the nation and laid out what authorities described as a plot to kill the president, not to negotiate, not to pressure him, but to eliminate him. According to the government, the conspirators planned to attack Traoré at close range or plant explosives around his residence. They allegedly planned to disable a drone base protecting Burkina Bay airspace. They also allegedly planned a ground military intervention backed by external forces, and authorities said the money trail led to Côte d'Ivoire, with $125,000 allegedly intended to finance the operation. The alleged hand behind the plot? Paul-Henri Damiba, the same man Traoré removed from power in 2022. According to the allegations, Damiba was operating from Togo. This was not ordinary political opposition. This was an alleged assassination plot dressed in military fatigues. And according to Burkina Faso's authorities, it was not the first attempt. December 2022. Lieutenant Colonel Emmanuel Zongrana and his co-conspirators were accused of plotting from within the military. The plot was intercepted. September 2023. Dissident officers were accused of another attempt. 4 people were arrested. January 2024. Another alleged plot was reportedly scheduled for the 14th of the month. It was thwarted. Then came another alleged attempt in 2025. Each time the message was the same. Remove this man before he finishes what he started. But what exactly did Ibrahim Traoré start? He started by closing the French military base in Camboine and sending French troops home. He started by declaring that Burkina Faso's natural resources should benefit Burkina Bay people. He started by pushing for greater control over the country's gold resources. He started projects aimed at expanding national power generation through Sonabel. And he started a campaign to reclaim territory from jihadist groups operating across the country. He also began presenting Burkina Faso as a nation determined to make its own decisions, without waiting for permission from foreign powers. And that is where the story becomes bigger than one man, because a country that refuses to follow the old script can become an example. When a former French colony expels French troops, questions begin to spread. When a government demands greater control over its natural resources, other African nations start watching. And when a military leader openly challenges the traditional relationship between France and the Sahel, the political establishment begins to pay attention. Traoré knows that, and despite the threats, he has continued to appear in public and push forward with his government's agenda. Because in his supporters' eyes, this is no longer simply about Ibrahim Traoré. It is about Burkina Faso, a country determined to control its own soil, its own resources, and its own future. Critics, however, point to the military government, the delayed election timeline, the security crisis, and the continued violence across parts of the country. Those criticisms cannot simply be ignored. But supporters of Traoré see something else. They see a nation that spent decades struggling with insecurity, foreign influence, and economic dependence, and finally decided to take a different path. They see a country saying, enough. Enough of being treated as a source of raw materials. Enough of foreign military dependence. Enough of African governments being told what they can and cannot do. And that is why Ibrahim Traoré has become such a powerful symbol across parts of Africa. To his supporters, he represents resistance. To his critics, he represents military rule and uncertainty. But whatever your position is, one thing is undeniable. Burkina Faso has become one of the most closely watched countries in Africa. They sent bullets. He sent French troops home. They sent bombs. He pushed to keep more resource revenue inside Burkina Faso. They sent mercenaries. He sent Burkina Bay forces into the fight. They tried to remove the man, but the ideas he represents have become bigger than the man himself. Burkina Faso is still standing. Traoré is still standing. And the story is far from over. This is Griot Lens TV, bringing you African history, political stories, untold stories, and the latest developments shaping the continent. Follow Griot Lens TV for more history, more stories, and more updates from Africa and beyond. Because the story of Africa deserves to be told, and we are here to tell it.